Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today, guys, I am super stoked because I am off to check out the newest addition to the DCEU, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is the follow-up to the Shazam film that came out a few years back, and guys, I am super stoked to check this one out. I really enjoyed the first movie, and if you want to get some deeper thoughts of mine on the film, I did do a movie spotlight back at 12 Days of Christmas. I want to say it was 2021, I think. Because I didn't do 12 Days of Christmas in 2022, so it was 2021. I did Shazam during my 12 Days of Christmas. So go ahead, look it up if you want to get my thoughts on Shazam. I also do a little bit of the character history and some of the villains and so on and so forth. So if you want to check that out, not a bad idea to give you just a little bit of background. Okay, so what is Shazam! Fury of the Gods? Well, like I said, it is the follow-up to the previous Shazam film, and in this movie, he's going toe-to-toe with the Daughters of Atlas. And this time, as the ending of the first movie, he has now the Shazam family with him because all of the foster kids in his household that live with him now all have different pieces of the God's powers. Where Shazam himself, Billy Bastion, has all of the powers of Shazam, each one of the siblings have like a different piece of the power. And so the whole story of this one is that the Daughters of Atlas show up and they ain't happy that a bunch of kids have the power of gods. And so they are going to strip them of their powers. But you know what, guys? That ain't happening on Shazam's watch. So yeah, this movie looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it still has a lot of the lighthearted themes of the first film. It still looks like it has that family heart at its core, and I'm really hoping that they don't do a lot of changes to this film because, man, the vibe of that other film is what made it so special, and I really hope that they keep that vibe going with this one. Alright, guys, well, enough of me sitting here chitter-chattering on and on and on. It's time for me to get out the door because I need to go see Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Welcome back. Just getting home. And you know what, guys? This movie was okay. It wasn't terrible. It was average at best. It was fun. In points, in moments, it was fun. Let's just say maybe the glitter and shine of the superhero movie is wearing off. Okay, so I've got my positives and I have my negatives about this movie. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the negatives and end on a high note with the positives. Okay, the first negative that I'm going to say is that this film really gets draggy in the second act. I mean, very draggy. If you're going to take your kids to see this movie, prepare for it. Make sure you have snacks or something to keep them intrigued, because boy, it really slows down for a moment and it takes a minute for it to pick back up. So yeah, the film does kind of slog along in the middle of it there for a while. Also too, the villains in this, I don't know, I didn't feel really a real high level of stakes when it came to the villains in this film. They didn't really seem like there was anything too awful, tragic, or horrible going on. Like, the stakes didn't seem that high in this film. I mean, they seemed like it was perfectly within the realm of Shazam to handle this problem once he just kind of got focused. And that's another thing, focused. This film is very unfocused. There is a lot of stuff going on in this movie, a lot of subplots that try to pick up steam and then just kind of get lost. They just go out there and they try to go a little bit deeper into the family Shazam, or the Shazam family, pardon me, and a little bit more of their personalities, but really they don't give them much personality, the ones that don't get enough screen time at least. They just kind of get quirks, and then the ones who are supposed to have more personality get more personalities, and subplots don't really matter or go anywhere. So that is kind of an issue with this movie. It just doesn't seem to have any direction whatsoever in moments, especially in the middle. Most of my complaint is the middle of this film. Alright, so that really is the worst of it all, is that the villains they weren't the greatest villains in the world. They were okay at best. I mean, the acting was fine. They didn't do a terrible job. Helen Mirren, she plays one of the lead villains in this film, and she does a really outstanding job. Lucy Liu, she seems a little stiff in this movie, but all in all, not so awful bad. But yeah, that just really seemed like this film just kind of got lost in the mix. It just became very average. Alright, so the positives. I thought that the special effects, despite the fact that there's a lot of CGI, a lot of CGI in this movie, it didn't look so bad. I mean, I know there's going to be complaints. There's always complaints when it comes to the looks of CGI and what looks real and what doesn't. And I think that the film chose wisely into going into some more cartoony realms with some of its CGI, which really helped with it a little bit. Plus, there's like a whole scene with some actual really good CGI figures that come up at the end of the film. Yeah, of course, it's a superhero movie, so it's gotta end on a big CGI explosion extravaganza, and it actually looks pretty good this time. It doesn't look rushed or anything like most superhero movies do. It actually looks fairly solid. So yep, the effects are pretty good. It still has that light-hearted, childish kind of humor as the first film, but it doesn't really land as well as it did because there's so many areas that just, like I said, lack direction. So a lot of jokes don't land, but those that do land are really funny. There are some really great moments. And all in all, like I said, this isn't a terrible film. You're going to be entertained. You're going to enjoy this movie. It's a perfectly safe afternoon with the families at the matinee. I would say that's the best way to put this movie. It's a good time when you get the kids, throw them in the minivan, head out to the matinee on a Sunday afternoon, and check out Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, there you go, folks. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out The Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And if there's another thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. I'm gonna